Well, hello there, and welcome back to the Curious Coaches Lemonade Stand with your host, Dr. Gena. Thank you so much for dropping by our virtual neighborhood third place where you can always stop and get something refreshing to fill your cup. A little bit of insight, a little bit of something that makes you go, maybe something that really resonates with you and that you want to pour out and share for others. So if you haven't already, please do consider liking and, of course, subscribing to the channel so that you always get notified when we've got new content and new fantastic guests coming up. As we always do, we have a fabulous one here today. I'm so excited to introduce you to a guest where we are going to be talking about some real effervescence together, some stuff that really gets those good feelings out.
Wow, that is
So
such an
let me
intro, Dr.
hand it
Gina.
over
Thank
to
you so
you,
much.
Michael,
And the
to
word
share a little bit about
effervescence is
yourself.
my big word of the day. I'll have to look that one up afterwards just to make sure I understand how to use it properly in a sentence. But yes, my name is Michael Wendt. I am born and raised here in Toronto, Canada. I don't know where your listeners are. Actually, could be all around the world for that matter. So yes, yep. My mom was from Jamaica, an island in the West Indies in the Caribbean, and my dad was also in the West Indies. I am 54 years old. For those who are listening, I'm a black man. I am gay. I have a 26-year career with the Ontario, the provincial government here, and then a fair bit of travel. I've been a couple of years backpacking through Latin America. I thought I wanted to see my country first, so I traveled across Canada, and then this is like in the late 90s, so just in the onset of the internet. I wanted to learn Spanish and maybe live in the States somewhere, so I backpacked from Vancouver all the way down to Mexico, spent about 8 months there, lived another 4 months in Guatemala, then raced through because I was in a mission to get to Carnival in Brazil for the following February. And so I whizzed through the rest of Central and South America, ended up in Brazil, living in Rio de Janeiro for about 6 months, about a half a block away from the beach. So that was a foundational moment of my life. The thing that inspired me on that whole trip was the music. Just being like the Brazilian music, Brazilian culture, Latin culture, and the diversity of therein. Shortly after returning to Canada, because I ran out of money, I was working as an English teacher and as an economic researcher and on the side. But a couple of years afterwards, I then met my future husband at a Pride festival here in Toronto. Yes, at the Blockorama stage in particular, which is the Black queer space at Pride. Our eyes met across the crowded dance floor, and the following week we had our first date, and then the rest is history. So so we celebrated our 25th anniversary, meet-iversary, if you will, this past Pride, and really, of course, had a wonderful time. We got married in 2008, so official to make it legal, if you will, but we always think of the date that we met as the real one. We are now the adoptive parents of a 16-year-old son, Malachi. He is most exciting, and we've gone through our challenges, and now he's just a great kid that keeps me on my toes and keeps me inspired and follows in my footsteps sometimes, and I follow in his sometimes in ways that are really quite inspiring. It's really cool.
Mm.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. As you're speaking, Michael, I'm just picking up on how many things we have in common that I had no idea about. So Brazil is so near and dear
Salvador.
to my heart.
Oh, the
I did my
music of
graduate
Salvador.
work in Brazil, in the Northeast, in Salvador.
The food of Salvador.
And so spent
all of it.
The food of Salvador.
Could never get
enough. Could never get enough. Right? And the palm oil, just cook everything in palm oil. It was amazing. And so it's a big part of our lives still. And my husband is a professor of music at the University of Toronto, where he has brought in things like maculele and Brazilian musical traditions that just don't have any other place in Toronto. He's created a home at the Scarborough campus for them. So the Brazilian community is a big part of our family and how we live and what we do. Like, he was just performing at Tessa Lawrence, performing capoeira music and the actual martial art as well, just a couple weeks ago. So it's a huge part of who we are. Viewers, listeners, watchers, I have to share how we met. So Michael and I met on the dance floor. And that's literally the generative piece that brought us together to do this episode today, is that we met in a state of that collective effervescence, that
Exactly.
collective joy. That sounds very much like how you met your husband as well, which is so wonderful. That's it. And so meeting people in that moment of joy, I think is very meaningful. I don't think it's accidental who we meet and how we meet there, because we're in a state of readiness to be open to, a new relationship, a new friendship, just new connections in life when we are out
Yes.
enjoying music like that. And it sounds like
Yes,
both of those
outside in the
instances too
hot
were
daylight
open air.
Toronto summer.
They're
You've
both
got it.
outside,
I think
right?
when
In
we
the
met, it was
beauty
spring. It was
Toronto
May.
summer.
So it was exactly. It was a good day.
Big
Yes.
deal.
Yes.
It was, but it felt like summer. It was a really nice, warm May weekend for Electric Island, which, if you're unfamiliar with it, it's one of the biggest music festivals, electronic music festivals that Toronto hosts every year, and it's a series. So the first one is in May. So we met at
Labor
the
Day
inaugural
weekend, yes.
one for the 2026 festival season, and I think it goes right till Labor Day weekend. I think it's usually the last one in September. So got one every month until then. And just an incredible experience. What brought you to that festival?
Well, first of all, my love of music has been around since I was a kid.
Yeah.
High school band, high school choir. So I've always been drawn to music, but never really named it or understood why. I've never pursued it as a profession or anything like that. It's just been there. I've always liked going out to nightclubs and such, but never really didn't really do the big rave thing until after COVID. So as a gay man, I spent more of my time in nightclub situations in the gay spaces where I felt safe and comfortable, and I didn't feel like I would be harassed or I felt, safe.
Right.
But it was then during COVID that I spent time when we had to be in lockdown. As people know, Ontario had a massive series of lockdowns for years where we couldn't leave our house, really, basically. And the thing that I noticed that I missed the most was dancing and music and being able to be with people to share in that community. It's not the same thing to dance in front of your screen on your computer. So it's because of COVID that I discovered music festivals like EI, like Creamfields, for example. At the next EI is a DJ called MK, and he had a set at Creamfields in the United Kingdom that was on my repeat playlist. And I thought, when COVID ends, I have to go to these kinds of festivals. I was just turning 50, 50, not 50. Anyway,
Yes.
but it's never too late. And I thought, well, I'm only going to live once.
It's never too late.
I can try. And so I made a pact to myself that in my 50th year, and I think it turned to be 51 by the time the lockdowns ended, but I'm going to go to at least 50 concerts. And so I made a spreadsheet, and I defined concerts loosely, right? Like a concert could be like a nightclub, a small one, or it could be a big festival, or it could be my church service. I'm a member of the Metropolitan Community Church of Toronto, and it has a very good musical setting. I love it. So anyway, I blew that number 50 out of the water that year. So that a lot of that to say that I the more I could do it, the more my musical horizons could expand, the more I realized how much joy I got out of that scene. And I realized also then the way we met, I could connect with people in ways that I never thought possible. I give that level of connection, and I get that level of connection back. Gena, the way you and I met was through smiles, through joyous, bright-eyed, wow, you look like fun. Wow, you look like fun. We had this eye type of conversation without actually speaking words. And then I think we actually got introduced with, I don't even know if I got your name yet. We got introduced. I might have remembered your name. I don't think I did. But a mutual connection, a friend of yours and somebody I had met about several months prior, but only briefly. All I know is that we were introduced and we connected, and then somehow we exchanged Instagram info, I guess. And you mentioned to me right then on the spot, I'd love to have you on my podcast.
Yes, we did. And I think I did. Yes. I did. I felt
And I
your
was like,
energy, and I'm
what?
like,
Really?
I need this on my
Who am I? I'm
screen.
just a guy. I'm a dad, and I like to go out and dance. But what do I have to share? But it's just during this time, it's gotten me to think about how I do have something to share. I guess how for me, these musical events are about connecting with people. I think that's the imposter syndrome in me a little bit, is the feeling that, you know, I can't really have, who am I to have something to offer? But I think I do. Uh, I,
Yeah. That's a crazy thing to think about, Michael, having imposter
like,
syndrome about
well, it's
partying,
wild. The thing
life
about
on
being
the dance
older,
floor.
for example,
That's
at
wild.
the age of 50, 54 now, there are some parts of our society that say, you should be at home by now. You should be retired by now. You should be whatever.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be going out and dancing all hours of the night. Yeah. So that's the kind of joy that I just never expected. And now I try to give it. So for example, when I go to these festivals and raves, I try to usually wear bright colors, something happy, something that signals to the world, I am not a threatening, big, black, dangerous man. That's intentional. Sometimes I
Interesting. So
have
that's
done the
intentional.
opposite,
Okay.
where if, for example, I see a girl, usually a girl, in an uncomfortable situation, then I will put on the big black threatening hat, stand behind the offending perpetrator, and look mean and say, "Are you okay?" And use my large privilege to, without saying much, because as soon as I open my mouth,
That
then you can
hero
tell that I'm just a big
energy.
old queen. But if I keep my mouth quiet, I can look threatening, and people have walked away from that. You can't really see it in this dress shirt that I'm wearing, but I mean, fitness is a huge part of my life, and fitness is connected to the world of the dance and the partying. It's hot, so my shirt is off. So there is a level of exhibitionism, being free, being able to show myself as I am, body confidence. Exactly. It is
Yeah.
culturally acceptable in many cases to have your shirt off in an outdoor party, or in the gay clubs, it's almost expected that you have your shirt off, but in the straight clubs, less so. But in these kind of rave settings, you can. I work out almost every day, in part to to get the attention. I think it's the body that also gets attention from people. There's a bodybuilding subculture within the rave community. So other fit guys will either give me fist bumps or say hello, and I'll say hello back. And we have this little romance, if you will, and that it feels, there's a recognition.
Yeah, it's a recognition of a shared value in making it. It's the perfect place to peacock. Let's be honest, is electronic music festival, right? If you want to show that you've done your hair, that you've
Yes, I
thought
get
of the
it.
most
Sorry.
creative look, like all that stuff. Well, I'm
Absolutely.
speaking generally. So it's an opportunity for self-expression in so many ways. It's not just the dancing that's self-expression. It's also the way you carry yourself, the way you dress yourself, the way you adorn yourself,
That's
and also
exactly
just
right.
the energy you exude. And I think that's what you described for us, was both
Exactly.
exuding and
It's
expressing
just
an energy
super
that
fun.
connected before we even spoke
I'll
words to
give
each
another
other.
anecdote. It's from a friend of mine. She was talking about how she's taking care of an elderly parent who's not well. And so the environment, the dance, the connecting with people gave her and fed her energy, fed her soul to be able to give her the strength to be able to carry on, to continue to take care of her dad. That kind of energy has also been effective for me, in terms of some of the challenges that I've had to deal with on a personal note. My son had leukemia, for example. And so we've since overcome that. He's much better now. But I realize now that the dance and the energy that I've received from the dance floor has helped me to be a better parent and helped me to get through some of the hard times. Uh, I'm over.
I couldn't agree more. I have one of the most common questions I get. I'm in my late 40s. All I have to say, I get a lot of the same
Mm,
questions too. A lot of, just friends, coworkers, colleagues will say, how do you have the energy
yes,
to go out and do this? Like, I'm in bed at the time that you're going out to these clubs at nighttime or these, to see these DJs or like, just where do
energy.
you get the energy? And it's really hard to explain, but that's where I go to get my energy. You go to sleep. I go rave. I go party. I get on the dance floor. That's how I get my energy. And it's a very foreign concept, I find, to people who haven't tried it. And I'll say, don't knock it till you try. And I understand it's not for everyone. Not there's nothing in the world that is for everyone. But for me, as for you, it's difficult to
Yes,
even qualify or quantify, to put into words how much it fills my cup to
that's
do
exactly it.
this,
And
to
actually,
go out and do this.
connecting to the fitness
It's not a
and to the
depletion.
raving,
It's always
the
a
two are
refresher.
connected in the same way. I go to the gym for a little dose of re-energization. So I can
Yes.
arrive at the gym tired and leave the gym feeling energized. I can
Yes.
go to a rave tired and leave the rave feeling like I
Definitely.
could keep going for another 3 hours. That has happened on more than one occasion. Uh, After parties, got to tell myself, don't go to more after parties. Stop, stop, stop. But yeah, I'll go.
Absolutely. And that right, right? But that gym connection, to come back to it, I agree with you. It's definitely about looking good. I work out regularly too. Unlike you, I was always into raving. I think I got into raving at probably 15. And, as soon as I was old enough, maybe before, I was in the nightclubs, and I've always been that girl, like out every weekend doing the things. Like, people be like, you got to buckle down. Like, you're working on a PhD. I'm like, yeah, how do you think I'm going to stay sane through it? I need to keep dancing, keep partying, keep connecting with people so I don't get lost in these books over here. And so there's something about working out and that energizing that became even
Wow.
more important to me after a near death motorcycle accident in 2020. That was really traumatic. So that moment where you're describing COVID, and it's not the same to dance in front of a TV watching a set than it is to be at Creamfields or be at Electric Islands, that was acute for me. And I thank God, because I feel it was a gift that I was out of commission, unable to walk, like I was using a wheelchair and then eventually a walker. And I still use a cane sometimes for long distances. You wouldn't know that when I'm out dancing, but like I give it my all on the dance floor. And the connection I'm making here is how much rehabilitation and exercise have to do with my stamina and my ability to keep dancing. So it's a need to do for me. I need to dance, therefore I need to work out, because I need to be strong enough and to stay, agile enough to do that after, kind of almost losing the left side of my body in this accident. And so I'm all steel. I will set off all the alarms at the airport. And so I remember literally being in my living room watching amazing DJ sets on TV during COVID, leaning over my walker, trying to get parts of my body moving again. And that was my motivation to get better. I'm like, I'm going to get off this walker in another month. Watch me. And part of my
Okay.
rehab and my exercise, you could call it my
Was
cardio, was
dancing.
dancing on a walker to things like that Blessed Madonna song. Sometimes with tears of joy going down my face, thinking, I'm going to climb those club stairs. I'm going to get into that festival and dance all day again. It's going to happen. There was no bigger motivation for me. It's kind of crazy to admit, but family, travel, and dancing. Those are the biggest motivators for me, to be like, I can't be in this wheelchair forever. I can't be on this walker forever. I can't be stuck in physiotherapy when I want to be out in the world doing the things and being who I am. So for me, working out is incredibly important to support my
That is a
lifestyle,
connection
my
that
habit of
I think
needing
I
to
had in the
dance and
back of
express
my head,
myself in that
but
way.
the way you've just put it into words, thank you. That was beautiful.
Hey, welcome. Yeah. And the connection with people is so incredibly important too. Like, how would you say you have people sort of in your
Absolutely.
sphere and
If anything,
dancing?
the majority of my social circle now is people that I met dancing. And I say circles plural, actually, because I tend to be a bit of a butterfly when I'm at these. I'm not the type of person. I'm really bad at making commitments to say I'm going to go arrive with this person, stay with this person the whole night, and then leave with that person. That's not me. too excited to see other people and to experience other things. And I just wanted to sort of, dance around and experience the diversity
Yeah.
and the range of people that one would not meet in another setting. Sort of emphasize on this point. And Toronto is the perfect city for this diversity conversation. I've had people come up to who are like 19, like who are my
Yep.
son's age almost. And then there are people who are, I think the oldest might be 70, of all different races and styles and orientations.
That's the thing about raving. I think there's just there's a big myth that it's like this small demographic of only this certain age group and this certain kind of person that enjoys this music and going out and dancing to this stuff. It can't be any less true. I don't know why this false idea persists. And I'm glad to see that
Okay.
there's more and more written materials. I'm seeing like a lot of articles, things like The Guardian, almost weekly now, writing something
Oh,
about the benefits of raving to women in perimenopause and menopause, or, to retirees, what it gives them in terms of connection and fulfillment. Like there's more and more literature on this, and I'm so glad to see it coming out in
right.
the mainstream so that I don't, look insane when I'm
Yes.
explaining to people, how can you not do this? No, what do you mean, how can I do this? How can you not? Like, can you see all of the benefits here?
I think that the marketing of some of these tools, of these events, particularly the larger events, tends
Yeah,
to be geared towards younger, whiter people. So one of the comments that people have often said to me is, it's so great to see
that's true.
you here as a 50 something black man. I am a
You,
rarity
yes,
in these scenes. And so I, when I'm on a dance floor, have a level of
yes.
confidence and friendliness that I do not have I'm pretty extroverted generally, but it gets to the next level
Hmm.
when I'm at a dance floor, where if I see somebody that I think is dressed
Yep.
well or looks fit or looks like they have a good smile and a good energy, I will likely just go and tell them that on the dance floor. I don't do that on the regular street. I don't walk up to people, oh, yeah,
Same.
you do nice. Rarely I have. But for example, just over the last FIFA event, I was gifted a t-shirt from Ghana, a soccer shirt, which I wore to the Black Coffee event. Um, I had somebody
Nice.
hold the elevator for me and say, "Hey, Ghana," and to give me a fist bump. That was really nice, but that doesn't happen when I'm wearing normal clothes. That doesn't happen on a daily basis here in Toronto. Toronto tends to be conservative. We tend to keep to ourselves as we walk down the streets. But in the rave scene and in the party scene, particularly the ravers, and there may be
Good
some
point.
distinctions there, but yes, I feel I have the permission to be more friendly. I feel that the permission to give and share who I am and what I'd like to say, and share, and to use your wall hanging, good vibes. It's permission to share good vibes. It's permission to receive good vibes. And that permission to be happy, permission to share, permission to be positive. Uh, we don't, it's a joy that I experience pretty much only on the dance floor, quite frankly. I don't know where else I could get that. Other place, yeah, makes it super unique and valuable.
Which makes it super unique and valuable. There's this expectation that's different too. Like when you described, the conservative, people will say, especially when you brought up FIFA World Cup, lots of interviews with visitors, tourists from around the world who are here to watch World Cup games and getting their take on what Toronto and Vancouver, the host cities, were like. And lots of people were sharing that it was so wonderful to deal with Canadians, so warm, so generous, kind. And yet I
Yes.
agree with you that if you live here, it's a little bit
Yes, that's what
different.
I think it is.
It feels like it's kind of cool and conservative. When you're in those places, when you're on that dance floor at that music festival, the expectation of how it will be received and quite possibly reciprocated when you give that compliment to someone is so different. And it facilitates that for me.
Answer your question. Your original question is the connection between fitness and dancing. And it's a great cardio exercise. In fact, dancing on the dance floor is pretty much the only cardio I do, except for maybe biking to work on
Yeah.
occasion. I'm usually lifting weights or doing Pilates instead, but I know that I lose a few pounds of fat or in my water after every big party weekend. Yes, It keeps my abs in check. There's so much fun stuff happening in this great city of Toronto. So I have to rank each event on a number of criteria, and price being one, music, vibe, and the venue, whether friends of mine are attending or not. I'm more likely to attend if I know I've got a couple of good friends who are coming with me or whatever. And just an X factor.
Mm-hmm.
My cadence tends to be once a week, sometimes twice a week, sometimes more, and sometimes I have to force myself to take a break. And I say force, I mean like block off this weekend. I'm going to stay home and sleep and catch up on rest. One of the things that the downside of raving, if you go as frequently as I do, is that my sleep patterns are a little bit messed up. I'm not great at that. I've got some bad habits when it comes to Instagram and Facebook as well, and other social media, that keep me up too late. So it's hard to catch up on sleep during the week. So, something I'm working on.
Yeah, I definitely can align with that. I've had some sleepless nights thinking, okay, my body's just confused because it went to bed at 4 or 5 a.m. a couple nights ago, and it just doesn't understand that I needed to go to bed at 11 now to get up at 6 or whatnot. It's just rejection of that new timetable. So I totally get that. Especially like you said, when
Yes.
you described going to Creamfields, when you travel and you add something like
Yes.
time zone changes and jet lag and partying overseas and coming back
I
with a
haven't
lot
made it
of
to Creamfields yet.
messes with your whole
That's on the
body.
bucket list. I have gone, however, to Tomorrowland. I went in 2023, and it was incredible.
You have? Okay.
I
How was
camped.
that?
It hit a bunch of milestones. It was a real a partying achievement, if you will. I went by myself. I had camping equipment, so I camped on the grounds
Wow.
in my own little tent. I made amazing friends with the
gosh.
neighbors, these guys from Australia, and these other guys from these 19, 20-year-olds from I think, and then I just met tons of people, including a whole bunch of Torontonians, who I'm still friends with today. And I follow them as they've gone to Tomorrowland. But yes, Tomorrowland, I think, is one of the biggest, if not the biggest. 23 stages. It feels like Disneyland for electronic dance music. And that size is about appropriate, because you have this stage. It could be like it could be the palace, if you will, the Princess Castle. The scale is huge. The number of conflicts with the different artists I wanted to see were incredible, but I saw some of the most amazing artists, and it's just so well organized. It's clean. The bathrooms work. The people are all there because they want to have a good time. The vibe of the people was next to none. It's also on the bucket list of having to go back, if and when I can. We'll see what happens next year. It always depends on what the family is doing and our other priorities. So I haven't been able to go since. But no, I'd like to go. I'd definitely go again.
As you're mentioning family, how does your family feel about your connection to the party?
And I took my son to his first concert this year. We went to Loud Luxury over and yes. So he likes the music beforehand. So now he's got the bug. So
nice,
he wants to go to more concerts, and I have to factor in whether I invite him or not to other events. Yeah, it was really cool to see him. He's not a big dancer. He's not as outgoing, and it's certainly new for him, but he liked it. So that's good. I think part of me thinks that they would like it if I went out a little bit less, so I'd be at home a bit more and save some more money and that sort of thing. But they understand that I love this and how much joy it gives me, and they're supportive.
That's wonderful. I think that's incredibly important. It's hard to continue doing something that you love, and no matter how connected you are to it, without the understanding of your family. Like, I know that's vital for me. Like, I was stepping out a couple days ago, Saturday night, going out to go, meet friends and go party. I went to the Mike Dunn party, actually, at Sound Machine, and it just made me laugh that my 11, almost 12-year-old, my younger son, was like, "Oh, Mom, you going out tonight?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "What you doing? Where are you going?" And I'm like, "Saturday night, kid. What am I doing?" He's like, "Going dancing with your friends?" I'm like, "Mm-hmm." It's like, "All right, have fun." And it's just an accepted and known thing. And he's like, "You never get tired of going dancing with your friends, do you?" I'm like, "Mm-mm. Nope. You know
I've
what,
had
Mama
a
needs
similar
to."
conversation
He's like, "Okay,
with
have
my
fun.
son.
See you in the morning."
He has usually two additions. One is don't stay up too late, be safe, and bring me something. Like what can I bring you from a club? Like bring me like some junk food, usually like fries or poutine. Yep, for me, sometimes he won't, but uh, it's kind of cute.
Yeah, that support is so, so important. And I think, do you ever think about what kind of role modeling this does for him? Like, what do you think this communicates to him about,
It's a
who
good
you are and
question.
what you
I've thought
value
about that
and
in
how he might
both
see that?
the positive and negative ways. In the negative, the the shoulds come to mind. Oh, I should be home. Maybe he's thinking I'm a bad parent because I'm not spending time at home and
Yeah.
I'm always tired in the morning. Uh, but on the plus side, he sees that I'm uh, enjoying myself at any age, and I've found something that I like to do, and I'm willing to keep doing it. And then it's okay to follow your passions and follow your interests and keep going. So I hope that's a positive. And also the fitness thing. My son is a huge fitness fanatic now, probably even more so than me. So we were just on vacation in Europe, and he was the one saying, we need to go to the gym today. And I'm like, but I'm tired. I want to take a siesta. No, we're going to the gym. So we actually went to the gym. We went to
Yeah,
three
yeah.
different gyms or four different gyms in three different countries over 2 weeks, all because of my kid. So I've had a positive. Exactly. It's
See,
exactly
you
what's
have a
happened.
positive
So thank
influence
you,
when they're
kid.
positively influencing you back. It's reciprocating.
I'm
Oh,
now
that's
experiencing jet
beautiful.
lag, so
That's
we've
beautiful.
gone to the gym every day this week in the morning. And I'm not usually a morning person, but thanks to jet lag, I've been waking up at 5 or 6. And so we've actually made it to the gym every day this week in the morning together, which is a new pattern. That's a new bonding thing for my son and I as well, which is quite
That's great. That's
exactly,
perfect example of making lemonade. And that's
exactly,
what the show's all about. How do you take the lemons and just squeeze them and make them lemonade? And
exactly.
got jet lag? Let's start a new
It
positive
works out really
health
well.
routine and start working out
Yep.
in the morning. Like, I love that.
Oh.
We talked about the
Mm-hmm.
people, at least the doubters of, should you be doing this at our age? Is this something that's, whether it's sustainable or whether you want to be for your kids, all those kind of tricky questions that we might get. What would be your response to people who think, no, I can't do that. I'm too old for that. I'm too, fill in the blank for that kind of lifestyle and to enjoy
I would
those
say
kinds
first and
of
foremost, and I
parties and
have said this to some,
experiences.
uh,
What would you say to them?
if that's how you feel, then that's how you feel. I feel sad for you because that's not how I feel, and that's not what I'm going to do at all. I refuse. I can't. It gives me too much joy. It gives me too much happiness. I love the music too much. I love the space too much. And if you'd like to join me, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I think that answer really embodies definitely a lot of how I feel and just how I see the scene in
No,
general. Like, I love that you say, I feel sad for you. And it's not to denigrate them or to be in any way diminishing of their thoughts or opinions or experiences. But I do agree. I feel sad for you because it means you don't know the joy of this collective effervescence that, we get to live and embody and be our truest selves in every
add that I'll
weekend if
put
we
a bit
so
of a
choose.
queer
And
twist
you
on that one.
could. There's nothing stopping
I've
you but
had a
you.
similar conversation amongst my gay friends who are still or who are fearful of entering the straight spaces. They may like the music, but not want to go to a straight space out of fear of homophobia, the same fears that I had. And so I give a similar response. I have had that
Good.
experience. Admittedly, I am a 6 foot tall, muscular black man. So I have a privilege that perhaps you, however you look, however you show yourself, do not have. But I have gotten so much joy. If anything, I've actually gotten more joy recently out of the straight or mixed spaces compared to the gay spaces on average, in part because the straight spaces are more about
Interesting.
the music, more about just connecting with people at a superficial, not a sexual level. But at the straight mixed festivals, it's more about just having fun as is. I like a bit of mix of both. I can bounce away from different worlds. I've been
Yeah.
blessed that I
And I think
can
that's
jump around to these different worlds and experience the diversity that life has to offer.
Yeah, I really appreciate that analysis. And I noticed that's probably the second or third time I've heard the word diversity come up. And I think that's an incredibly integral part of what makes me love this space is its diversity. You can find people from every age, from every walk of life, from every socioeconomic background, from every race, from every religion or creed. That is, to me, where everyone can come together.
To intimidate those who are not acting well. There are some safety issues in the scene. There can be, and we need to sort of do some work. Again, particularly women. I recognize again my male privilege, and acknowledge that for women, these spaces can sometimes still not be safe, and there's some work that we need to do, we can do to make it safer.
Definitely a lot of street smarts and a lot of the community recognizing what they will and won't tolerate, I find is really important. So the spaces that I'm most attracted, gravitate towards, and will return to over and over again are the spaces, whether it's, that festival promoter, that club that, works harder to consider the safety of their patrons and to be actively involved in ensuring that that's how everyone comes in with those expectations that this is a safe space and it will not be tolerated to do anything that could be offensive, abusive, assaulting, harassing to anyone that's in that space. Well, I'm going to be honest, I don't know if
I haven't seen you on camera for a while, but
seen by the viewers, seen myself on camera for a long time, but I'm going to take it. Right? So in spite of whatever technical glitch may or may not be happening right now, I'm still going to uphold our tradition of shuffling our deck, our tarot deck on camera here and hoping it's capturing. If it's not, y'all will know that I shuffle. So you're going to have to take my word for it and trust me on this. I never know what card's going to come out. It's Yoshi Yoshitani's the creator of this deck. And speaking of diversity, I absolutely love it because it's a tarot of the world. So it's 72 cards and the depictions are respectful, I think, of the traditional tarot's depictions, but they are interpreted through world myths and stories. So it makes it really unique. So I'm going to shuffle it here and see what card comes out, what kind of vibes we've picked up after today's conversation. Got one card sticking out here. Wish you could see this. This is the one, Michael. It's the Seven of Wands. And so the wand suit in general is about our passions, our energies, what makes us excited. So it can be about work, about hobbies, things that we love to do. The Seven of Wands in a traditional tarot deck depicts usually a guy on top of a mountain, and he has his wand and is deflecting those below him with their wands that look like, they may be trying to attack, but the fact is he is literally on higher ground by being on this elevated mountain area. And it's really a card about being in a position to defend the fortress, to protect and defend your interests and what really matters to you, because it's wands. This is a great card to come up in terms of us. I want to see almost being guardians of this dance floor space, of us recognizing, and it looks like you. I wish you could see this guy on here. Oh my gosh. It's just like ripped black guy with, he's got his fingers down, bare chested, like upholding a big, like it looks like Thor's hammer over his head. And he is not with everyone else below has like the railroad nails, the railroad spikes. And so he is in a defensive position to protect what he loves most, what he's most passionate about. We were to name today's podcast In Defense of the Dance Floor. I think that's what I'm going to call it.
I'm picturing the
Defense of the Dance Floor.
Hammer tarot card is holding as a conductor's baton. Making the
yes,
that's my visual, and actually that's one of the visuals that I had when I saw the black coffee, for example.
I love that. He's
bringing us all together in this way of orchestrating. So I love it. Thank you for this card.
Yes. Thank you for grounding us in that, because that experience was absolutely magical. Totally. Well, I'm so grateful and thankful for you spending this time with myself, with our audience today, Michael. To everyone who's tuned in
Okay.
to the Curious Coaches Lemonade Stand, you got like the spicy margarita today. So I know we always say we pour up something refreshing. Sometimes it's spiked. Today it's a spicy marg, and it went down oh so nicely. It's it's been so wonderful getting to know a little bit more about you, learning more about, what we have in common, and just hearing your views on what the dance floor means to you,
Well,
bring to it. It's been a really great conversation. Absolutely. So for everyone who's tuned in, thanks for sticking with us right to the end. I hope this conversation gave you that tasty, spicy marg that you didn't even know you needed. And again, a reminder, please like, subscribe, share this, pour it up for someone else that you think could benefit from this great conversation today.
thank you.
And as always, stay well, be blessed. Until next time, take care.